What?
What mic is currently using on your computer?
Yeah, I know. You hear the hissing?
Yeah, that's the AC.
It's AC going by my microphone. All right, we are live. Waiting for YouTube to pick it up. There we go.
There it is. It's up.
There we go. Ooh.
How's everybody doing today?
Hello, everyone. Grant's not doing good.
I am feeling like absolute crap. I had a CT Myelogram yesterday. And the nurses said, you will probably have the worst headache of your life. And you're going to be nauseous. Yesterday, I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. I was all right yesterday. Today, I'm
not all right today.
Not feeling great today. So today,
we've got the body double.
I am going to.
The camera adds like 40 pounds. I don't want to hear it.
I'm gonna turn off my camera because the light is. I'm on 1/3 of my normal studio lighting right now. And like I am profusely sweating. The house is way colder than it normally is.
And Grant, by way colder, what temperature is the house?
76. Go to hell.
It's
all right,
okay,
I gotta
Florida.
turn off my studio light, so I'm just gonna go to
way
the BRB.
colder, which is colder than the warmer than anyone keeps their house.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going dark.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
I'll still be here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I apologize to people that are watching us, kind of expecting me. But yeah,
You get me instead.
I had a CT Myelogram. You guys can look it up. Basically, they injected dye contrast into my spine, and then took a CT of it.
That does not
And
sound...
dye contrast is radioactive. Your body doesn't like iodine, and a particularly radioactive iodine, being inside of it.
Especially with that attitude.
Especially with
Especially in
this
your
attitude.
spine.
That's right. So
and
what's
especially in your
happening right
spine.
now? My body is actively trying to get rid of this radioactive iodine, which means my kidneys are working overtime. And no matter how much water I drink, I will constantly be dehydrated. And there is literally no way to fix it. I'm effectively going through a really bad hangover, and it is going to be like this for like 4 or 5 days.
So if content gets pushed back, that's why. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, John rant doesn't sound as good as Grant rant. And while y'all definitely got I'm going to put this in quotes, Grant rant about the Lulzbot Sidekick, boy, howdy, do I also have some opinions. And I think Grant was too nice on the subject.
I mean,
Yeah.
Specifically comparing it to all of the other videos we've done for like cricket and everybody else. Lulzbot, like, you made good points, right? This is definitely marketed to education. The reason the cost is because at a point in any business's purchasing cycle, you as a purchaser don't have to submit it higher up if it's under a certain amount. Normally that's $1,000 or $5,000, depending on the org and what they do. That's the point of this printer, because what you do is you submit the order for the $800. Nobody has to approve it. It just goes through, and then you order all the other parts separately. I know what they're doing. I still don't appreciate it. What their entire marketing of 3D printer for less than, let's even call it less than 800, is wrong. It is wrong. It is a lie. You're not getting a 3D printer for less than...
You're getting a motion platform.
Yeah, you're getting an X, Y, and Z axis. Congratulations. And it's got V wheels.
Yeah.
So to add insult to injury, not only... I don't want to say like specific things like, deceptive marketing, because I'm not their target market. But that's BS, man. Like, geez, I don't like the way that the Taz 6 does the motion platform. I don't. But it would have been better than what they've got now. Jesus.
But see, that's the trick. They can't... I gotta move my mic. Sorry, I had to move my mic further out. That's the trick, right? It can't be better than a Taz. It can't be better than the Pro. It can't be better than the Workhorse, because guess what? then they've just completely, made that line null and void.
Yes and no, right? So if you're innovating for all of your new printers, now I haven't followed the rest of the Lulzbot lineup coming out because frankly, I don't care. But if you're innovating at baby steps, hey, shout out Intel. Nobody is like, I'm not interested in your i5 10500 if I can get the i5 10500K for the same price. I'm just not. For those of you who aren't computer people, that's the difference between a just normal, like mid-range, pretty damn good Intel processor and then the better one. Either way, buy AMD. This is not financial advice.
Yeah, I really think that like Prusa's doing the exact opposite of them. They put the better hardware in the Mini. The Mini's a third of the price of a Mark III.
Half,
yeah.
Half.
Like,
well, and I think it's because Prusa knows that they're serving different markets, right? The guy who's buying a Mini, Grant, your mic is on. Okay. The guy who's buying a Mini to just buy a Mini is probably not wanting to afford the Mark 3S Plus or whatever the heck the new one is.
Yeah.
So the Mini comes at a price point where it's like, we're half the price. We're half the price. We're going to offer you better features. And by the way, those features are probably coming to either the Mark IV or whatever's next. I don't know what they're going to call it. Just don't follow the Apple naming scheme, please.
Well, they kind of did with the Mark III S Plus.
I know. And I almost think that was a jab at Apple.
It totally was. I mean,
feels like
their
because the Mark
is Mark 52 is their heat bed on the Mark III. It was Mark 42 on the Mark II. It was Mark 1 on the Prusa Mark 1. Yeah, so they just like went right at the clones because they always like mess up the naming scheme to kind of not get caught.
Yeah.
So
I think one of the big things also, like with Prusa themselves will tell you, if you want to make a printing farm, if you want to do like the balls to the wall stuff that even we do here at 3D Musketeers, the Mini is the better option. The Mini is the better option. And they have laid it out on their website in their marketing materials. Like 3 Minis can print technically more than 2 big boys. I
think they showed 2 Minis to 1 Mark III because if that's the same price.
2 to 1? Okay.
Yeah, but like same analogy pretty much is.
Yeah, and if you don't mind cutting parts, or your parts just don't take up the whole build volume of a normal Mark III S Plus, the Mini is your printer. The Mini is your printer. It's a great printer.
Yeah,
it's great, and I'm working on this because I can't make any guarantees, but we need the rest of our Minis. They're currently boxed up. Grant and I have had on the schedule for like ever to do one of the build offs that he did with Amber previously. As long as like work doesn't happen, because we do have a hurricane on its way, we're going to try to film that this weekend. But based on Grant's current condition, it might just be me filming it on a race to the finish line.
Yeah, we could compare you to it'd be like a time trial.
Yeah, we need like the stop clock in the background.
Or you put like
counting down.
We overlay the video, the first video, but like kind of like make the opacity really light. So it's like a time trial, like in Mario Kart. Like there's like the ghost racer.
Yeah, the ghost racer. Yeah. And the other thing is like it'd be the first opportunity for us to use the garage set, because mostly I don't know about exactly right now, but it's been raining all day, so we're not filming this outside. And now that we have like lighting that isn't absolute trash, in the garage actually is some semblance of clean, we will be able to use the garage sets, but I don't know. It's not my call.
Yeah,
but back to the Lulzbot stuff. It bothers me, right? Because if truly the Sidekick would hurt the Workhorse line, then they shouldn't have made it.
Yeah.
They should not have made it. What's the Workhorse go for?
I had this conversation yesterday about printers because a teacher at my school sent me an email. Was like, what printer do we need for, like, because they started an engineering class and she wants to implement 3D printing into it. And I'm like, if we could do, and she was like, if we can do Prusas, I want to do Prusas, because she talked to Christy, who's on the Friday calls occasionally, and who was my teacher as well, and who is all into 3D printing now. And so I think that, and then she was saying, oh, try and do Prusas. The biggest problem is they're not in America. They're not a U.S. company. They don't have a U.S. reseller.
Right.
And that's the biggest problem.
That's the big thing for people that are trying to purchase them for their organizations. What's the build volume on the I'm trying to pull up all of these because I just saw the minis $1,500. And there's no way that the Sidekick doesn't just kick the mini off of it's even needing to exist. Okay, so we're 6 3/8, 6 3/8, 7 1/8 for the 289.
Yeah, and then they have the
it's literally the same size.
9 3/4. Yeah.
It's literally
tiny. I mean, a mini is better than that by a long shot. Just build volume.
I'm sitting here like a mini. Does the mini
blows
have
it out of the water?
Does the mini have the filament runout sensor in it?
It's like $10.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. But
it's
the mini's $1,500 and it's done. It's done. I still wouldn't recommend it. I still think it's a waste of money.
I'm not saying the Lulzbot.
It's the better printer.
Prusa Mini. I'm saying.
Oh no. I'm talking the Lulzbot Mini 2 is $1,500, and it is essentially the same size. It's funny because they did the like by 3/8, and by 1/8 because they have it in decimal points. For the mini, it's the same size. It's the same size because I don't know what an eighth is in a decimal point, but I'm assuming it's around 0.09 inches. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah,
because it's 160 by 160 by 180 for the mini.
It's 0.125 is an eighth.
0.125. So
I can't think.
Yeah, I should have known that too. Jesus. Oof. I hope none of my math or science teachers are watching this. I'm gonna blame something. I'll think of it sooner or later. But seriously, it's $1,500 for the mini. It's a much better enclosure, in my opinion. And
yeah, I think the frame is better.
I don't know enough about the mini, but I'm assuming it sure as hell doesn't use V-rails. It definitely uses linear.
It uses the IGUS bearings on rods. Bearings.
Yeah, it's not
bushings.
Yep. And it's got a PEI borosilicate print surface, which is fine. It's not ideal, but it's fine.
I think that's new.
I'm here. I think the Mini 2 is the better option.
Yeah.
It's still not better than a damn Prusa. I mean, hell, even at $1,200, that's 3 Prusa minis, and that will outprint and use less space.
Yeah.
Than a friggin' Taz. Oh, and by the way, it's not Ryobi yellow, Ryobi green. Excuse me, green. I can't Grant made a point that he likes that color. I don't.
Color. I like my Ryobi tools.
Okay, it's a cool color. Don't get me wrong. The color looks good. But if you go to Home Depot and you look at the tools, you already know what you're getting yourself into at the Ryobi green level of tools.
Oh yeah,
right.
It's the lowest.
They're not bad tools. They're just cheap tools. Ryobi is like the hard. I don't want to talk bad about Ryobi. I love Ryobi tools.
I do too. No, I get what you're saying.
You can't compare a Ryobi to a Milwaukee. You just can't. Hell, Ryobi's sister brand, Rigid, which is like their better brand, you can't compare to a Milwaukee. First off, the prices are on absolutely different levels. But a Taz Sidekick is like getting a Ryobi tool at a Milwaukee price but still having Ryobi performance.
Yep.
And the dude,
Yeah,
it's so frustrating. And you know what they're doing, right? Dude, if you had one guy in the US just buying up Prusas and be like, all right, hey, I'm just making myself the US distributor for Prusa, which I know isn't legal, by the way. you got to work with them properly.
Could technically resell them.
You could.
Canada does. There's I think 3dprint.ca or whatever, filaments.ca resells them in Canada because it's a pain to get them to Canada.
It's a pain to get them anywhere.
So I think he does sort of kind of work with Prusa because he buys them like a few at a time.
Yeah, dude, I would love to be that guy that just like, all right, we're going to buy these 10 at a time. Whenever you guys have like 10 that are either available or need to get shipped,
they never do
ship them. I know, because they're so damn popular.
They're built to order. Every single machine is built to order.
Well, it's not even that they're built to order. It's just they can't keep up with demand.
Well, that too.
Yep.
Yeah, they're constantly. So there's a video somewhere of Prusa's print farm. I forget who did it.
Prusa did it.
Yeah,
was it actually Prusa? It was a good friggin' video. I'm just saying.
I don't know how I sound, but you're I'm on the floor now.
Thanks, Grant.
Yeah. Well, I have to lay down or it feels like I'm gonna vomit. So
did you take your mic down with you?
I did. Yeah.
Grant's gonna slowly start moving across the house until he gets to his bed.
No, the mic isn't wireless. Unfortunately,
no, it's
you can't
not.
do that.
And if it was, yeah. So I was gonna move the entire
I do have
arm
the wireless lavs
and just put the arm down by me.
No, I wouldn't have done that.
But that didn't work because the mount that I have for it just popped off. I'm like, oh crap. So I got it back on, and so I just took the mic out. So I apologize for those that are listening. I can't mute myself other than hard muting.
Yes, just cut your mic.
Well, it peaks the meter, so I apologize if you get a pop or two. But yeah, for those that are just joining us, Grant has no video because Grant is not doing good. Grant had a CT Myelogram yesterday. And basically that means I had radioactive iodine injected into my back so that they could see how bad my back really is. And now I'm basically constantly hungover. It's exactly what it is. So your body is trying to now rid itself of this chemical that it does not like. And how does it do that? It does it to your kidneys. It does it to your liver. It's exactly how alcohol goes away too. So yeah, I've never been hungover, and I never want to be now. But you know, I look at the Lulzbot and say, first off, I love the color. Okay, but I also like crazy, ridiculous colors. So, John,
I like the color, but only to a degree.
I will agree.
I think it gives. I think it gives the wrong idea, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, they've got the stealth black, right?
I like the black. I'm down with the black.
Yeah, I like the little bit of green. I like the green accent.
Mm-hmm.
Not the full green one. That's too much.
I don't need it to match. Like, I got this crazy yellow USB cable over here. Oh, actually, here. An actual Ryobi tool. It's the same color. It's the same color.
You got a Ryobi
tape measure, yeah. Dude, you have no idea how often I need to like measure crap. I think there's a tape measure in every room in the house. Yeah. Like, how often I need to do something just stupid. And I'm like, damn it, I need a tape measure. Yeah, but see, less superior brand.
I see there's a comment, I think from Heather. What does it say?
Yeah. Oh wow, poor Grant.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry, I'm on top of this. I'm only on top of YouTube.
No, actually,
but that's where everybody should be watching.
You're below me, and Justin is to the side of me.
Congratulations, Grant.
So neither of you are on top of this.
I can walk over there.
It's the joke.jpg. It's where you're located in the thing. But yes, I apologize, guys. I am trying to.
Grant's broken. We're submitting an RMA at this time.
Yeah,
it should be 4 to 5 business days until we get a box to ship him back.
Oh, please,
all
dear
right.
God.
They're gonna do a full spinal replacement and just ship him back.
It has been almost 15
Amazon
months.
Prime style. In fact, we're not even going to package it. He's going to have to
Yep.
walk.
Yeah.
I'm not affording return
Yeah,
shipping.
just
all
go
right?
drop me off at UPS. No box, no anything.
Yeah, they'll package ship you for us.
He might not fit because they put it in a special size
Shit,
bag.
we got to figure out a way to spend more than $35 so that they'll do Amazon Prime overnight. Do you have that available where you live, Justin?
I get same day. I don't get overnight. I get same
So,
day or
We can
next
get same day as well, but overnight just popped up. So if you order something before midnight, the day before, of $35 or more of qualifying purchases, they'll deliver them between like 10 and 2.
Yeah, I
And if you
haven't
need
got-
them earlier, they can get them to you as early as 5 a.m.
I've never
What?
gotten that.
That's so cool. I've never done it either. I just think it's so cool.
Like I've never seen it show up. I have like next day I'll get, which will get like even if I order like before midnight, it won't be in the morning though. It'll
Well,
show up sometime during the day.
I won't be able to get it right now. I was actually we've talked about this before, what I do for a day job. It's very possible that I'm gonna have to show up to my office for like 2-3 days while this hurricane does its thing. And I've got the Osmo Pocket cameras that we purchased a bunch of for the company. I purchased my own for what it's worth. But I've got the waterproof case, the wireless adapter, the whole nine. Well, I wanted a box to put all these in that's like waterproof and hard shell, because like if I'm moving my crap in during a hurricane, like we got to go.
Yeah.
I can't get one here in time. They won't deliver on the 4th, which is fine. I get that.
Yeah.
And they won't deliver on the 5th.
Do you have Harbor Freight near you?
I do.
Just go get. They have Pelican cases there for super cheap.
So I was looking. I was looking specific Osmo Pocket cases, right? Hard shell case, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these are really expensive. They're like $50 for something that wouldn't even fit like a Derringer pistol.
Yeah. No.
I'm like, oh wait, gun people like cheap things. So I just looked up, the square pull,
yeah.
pick and pull foam, and it was like $30. I'm like, that's a
Harbor
better
Freight would
number.
probably be cheaper actually.
Yeah, and I love Harbor Freight. A lot of people say, there's nothing as expensive as a cheap tool. And while I agree, there's a little asterisk at the end of that, right? There's nothing more expensive than a cheap tool if the tool isn't warranted and if the place that sells the tool is not readily accessible.
Yeah. I mean, and even if it wasn't warranted, like
Yeah,
it gets the job done.
It's like $10.
Yeah, and they get the job
hilariously, like I normally carry 2 full sets of ratchets in my car. I've got my Husky set, which is the set that I use. I have my Harbor Freight set, which is the set that when I don't want to stand on my ratchet to break a lug nut, I get the Harbor Freight set because I don't care. And the Husky set's warranted for life too.
Yeah,
and
but still.
realistically, Home Depot's easier to get to than any Harbor Freight. But if I lose my 1/4-inch Husky ratchet, I'm gonna be pissed because that is not cheap.
How many 10 mils do you have in there, and how many are you going to end up with at the end of the year? That's the real question.
I have 4 10 mils in it.
Is that all the 10 mils it should have?
6 10 mils. Each set has 3.
Right.
Now here's the fun one. All of you German car owners out there, you ever heard of triple square? Justin, have you ever heard of the triple square?
No.
It's a thing. Look it up.
It looks like almost like a Torx, right?
It looks exactly like a Torx.
Yeah.
It's specifically not.
VW cars, right?
You don't. So you used to. You don't anymore.
Okay.
Triple square. I used to have a VW GTI. I just sold it. But if you wanted to remove the seats, if you wanted to remove body trim, if you wanted to remove wheel wells or anything that they didn't want you touching, that was their version of a security bit. And boy, howdy, was it a good idea.
Yep.
Because everyone and their mother can go anywhere and get the stupid Torx with the hole in the center or just drill their own hole. You can't go to Home Depot or Harbor Freight or Lowe's or even Ace Hardware and pick up a triple square. They don't have them, and I got laughed at more than once because they thought I was kidding. They thought I was like the dude having to go to the auto parts store and ask for blinker fluid. I'm not. It's a real tool, and you use it maybe once.
Yep.
In fact, I own a full set of triple squares.
Yeah,
Never once used them.
It's like I have all the tuning cables for all the different car brands.
Yep.
Because they each costs a lot, each of them.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
And like the BMW one, all of it's in German.
Yep. Same with Volkswagen. If you use their
Vag connector.
you look, I wasn't gonna say it. All right. It's called the Vagcom. All right. VAGCOM. They named it.
Yeah.
It's completely in German. In German. And now, to be fair, you can just use your phone and have Google translate it for you.
Yeah, but
or you can just go online and everyone's like, all right, click the third one down. It says this, click the seventh one down, that works too. I actually don't own the cable because it's like $400 and requires Windows XP.
Yep. We sold ours. Once we didn't have the Audis anymore, we just sold our because you make your money back. Like you could sell it for the exact same price you pay for, or maybe $50 is what you lose. Like,
and we're tangenting off, but I just want to stay here for like 2 seconds. One of the weird ones, at least for me with the Volkswagen community, is people always wanted to install the upgraded stereos in their car, but not a homemade drop-in, like with subwoofers, speakers, amplifiers, all that crap. You could get the upgraded Fender audio system from Volkswagen, which came with a trunk-mounted subwoofer in the spare tire well, but it also let you keep the spare. Great idea for what it's worth. That's a friggin' good idea. The connector is in every car because they're binned, and we can talk about that actually with things like V-wheels. They're binned, so the wiring already existed, but you had to tell the computer that you had the Fender audio system for it to enable the pass-through of the audio to that subwoofer because it needed to change all of its built-in EQs. I thought that was really cool, and it's also really expensive. In fact, I believe everybody who had the cable would rent it for $50 a head.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've
also, while we're on the weird subject, I read something this morning that Bitcoin mining has the difficulty has dropped for the first time in a very long time.
I didn't know
by
that.
28%. The difficulty of mining. And here's the reason. I didn't know this, and I thought this was really cool. Every 2 weeks, they change the difficulty. Normally, it goes up. Within the last 2 weeks, China just kicked out all of their Bitcoin miners and said, no, we're not doing this anymore. Stop using 3/4 of the country's power to mine internet money. So
I think that will actually help GPU prices. And
though most of those guys are using ASICs at this point.
Well, for Bitcoin, but they still do ETH mining there a lot.
Right. But because over 50% of Bitcoin's mining infrastructure disappeared in a couple weeks, they want the time to mine a coin, like the time to mine a block of 10 minutes. When those guys dropped out, it was almost up to 20. So they actually had to turn down the difficulty.
Yeah.
But it's not a person that does this. It's a whole like algorithm thing. I don't know enough about this. This was, dude, the stories I could tell about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency would make people scream. All right. Like I remember when Bitcoin was $34 a friggin' coin. And I said, there's no way. This is fake internet money.
Says the guy with 37,000 Doge.
That's because it was actually fake funny internet money and was created as a joke.
You could get it for free any day of the week.
It was. You can still get it for free from a faucet.
All the faucets are dry, like in the past couple of years.
Oh, well, okay. I haven't been doing it in a long time, but like, I have like over 30,000 coins that I just got from being a part of the Reddit community. I didn't mine a single one of these. Yeah. This was all between us tipping each other because it was funny. It's like, oh, here's 500 Doge. I got 2 2,500 Doge transactions from tips.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, do you know how much money that is right now? That's over $100 right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's never going to be a Bitcoin, but
It can't because there's no cap to it.
Yeah. But I don't care. Less than a year ago, it was less than a penny.
That's why Elon likes it, because it's more power efficient than.
You can't mine it with GPUs.
No.
It's AES 256, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It's
a
pretty much
miner,
Bitcoin. What?
It used to be a script miner, so you could mine it on GPUs.
Yeah.
Then they transferred to something that you couldn't. It needed ASIC mining.
It's pretty much a exact Bitcoin fork, except they just turned the cap off. Like that's all they did. They literally changed one variable on it, and that's it.
So Lulzbot, yeah. So Lulzbot, because like,
well, it all comes back. It all does.
I'm laying on the floor trying to stay conscious, but if even I'm falling
go
asleep,
back to muting yourself.
I assume our listeners and viewers are too.
Okay, fine. Lulzbot. To me, Lulzbot is currently the Cricut of the 3D printing space.
All right,
and that says a lot.
I'm gonna argue this with you.
Yeah,
go for it.
So let me be very clear here.
Lulzbot is open source.
I need to make, because I don't think that video that we put out actually made my point clear. I think it's a cool printer, but I am very disappointed in it, and here's why. Their video that came out on March 26th said, 3D printing just got personal. Okay? And they're saying expected as low as $750. Well, they didn't do that.
Not.
It's $795, but you need a hot end. So
we discussed this. We said,
I know. I was listening.
Yeah, you get an XYZ system. Congrats.
I know. Again, I'm just give me like 2 minutes, please.
Okay.
If anything that's going on here, this is exactly similar to when Cricut said, that nice free software that you had? Yeah, we're going to limit you and force you to pay for it. It's a bait and switch. And I don't like saying that because, Lulzbot didn't have a lot of marketing around this, right? They just kind of put out that video and then just ignored all of us that were trying to get information on it. Yep. And even
There's
now,
still no info.
You can buy
what
it on
other
their
companies
website,
do that,
and it doesn't tell you that there is auto bed leveling. With a BL Touch, it doesn't tell you that I think it's a 24-volt Meanwell power supply. Probably. There are so many things and features about this machine that they just don't tell you about for reasons that I don't understand.
I understand it.
Why?
I know exactly why. Because it's not marketed at us, as you pointed out. It's marketed to education. It's marketed to people with budgets.
They still need to say what the features are.
Huh?
They still need to say what the features are.
No, they don't, because 24-volt power supply means nothing to the coordinator who's ordering the 3D printer because the science department said so.
Well, yes, but then if the science
dude, if they're looking at them, if they have done zero research, they deserve the product that they're getting. But we already we talked about this too. The Prusa is the better option. There's just no distribution.
Yeah.
Yep. So John,
Grant, we should work on that.
My argument against them not being they are Cricut adjacent in the way that they're doing it, but I don't know. So give me your rebuttal here.
I have no rebuttal. I agree.
Oh, you were saying that they were Cricut.
They are okay. If there was a 3D printer company that worked and acted like Cricut, currently it's Lulzbot. They sell you a product that you can't do a damn thing with unless you buy their specific tool heads.
Okay, but here's the deal, right? I'm sorry. We probably need to wrap this up here pretty soon for me. Laying on the floor is quite painful, but it's better than sitting in a chair. So you would think that, you could accidentally order a printer without a hot end. At the final stage, before you add it to your cart, if you don't have a hot end and you don't have the LCD screen, which, by the way, is an extra $125, which is ridiculous. They say, I understand that I am getting a printer without a tool head, and you must click that box. And then
I did not know that.
Yeah, so they put that kind of step in place to say, hey, you don't have this, acknowledge this. So when it's the idiot control, right? So when the idiot orders it without a print head, they can't say I didn't know, because you literally had to say I know before they would let you place the order.
Yeah.
Okay, to be fair, I'm going to play devil's advocate on this one. When was the last time either of you read a terms of service before you clicked I agree?
No, it's literally not a terms of service. It's
I'm
one
aware.
With a checkbox
I'm aware.
next to it.
I'm aware, but how many times do you just check something and not read it?
I literally did that with the mattercontrol video and had to go back and read their EULA, their end user license agreement, to figure out about the data tracking thing.
Yep. As a society, we have been trained to just click the button. And in fact, here's a weird one. So I know how this podcast feels about Epic Games, and I'm not going to make this about Epic Games. But if you buy a free game, so you decide to put it in your library from Epic Games, it gives you a checkbox that you don't have to check. And this checkbox specifically says, do you want to share your information with the creator of this game? It is not checked normally, but it sure as hell looks like it needs to be for you to finish your transaction. Yep. There's a reason for this, because as a society, we have been trained to just click the checkboxes and click OK. That's how all your original like stupid spyware got thrown in with your actual useful product. And that's how you ended up with, 15 toolbars and Internet Explorer, grandma, and everything else. So as a society, I think we need to look better at the things that we're agreeing to. But also when they make a 6.5 page or, 25-minute read for your EULA, I'm not going to read it. And there was a lawyer that thought that.
That's kind of the point, though, isn't it?
Yes, but it's also not the point, because there's lawyers that's their whole job, is they fight companies who do that. Years ago, this was an issue with Apple. I forget the lawyer, but it was a really cool story. Like I think I remember this from like the early 2010s. I know, Justin, you were just a child. Oh wait, nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed for you either.
Yes, I was an adult then, and I'm an adult now. Like early 2010s, yeah, I was 20. But yeah, I don't hate Lulzbot, all right? There's a place, and it is 100% education. But this really, and I know Joseph Prusa is never going to see this, but it's very possible somebody who works for him will. Y'all need distribution in the U.S., and the Musketeers can make it happen.
They know they need it.
And they've been offered it many times. They just don't have the bandwidth.
Everybody that loves their machines would love to distribute it. But yeah, they simply don't have the bandwidth. And you know what? I as a business that would love to reap the benefits of being, the sole distributor for Prusa, I have to tip my hat to them and say, they're deliberately not letting themselves grow too big for their britches, and that is something that happens way, way, way too often, right? They outsource until it makes sense to insource, and then they insource. And that is that is the way that companies should go. And I think if you are looking to start up a business right now, you should really look at the way that Joseph Prusa has done it, because I think that is truly, one of the great ways to run a business. Unfortunately, it's not that easy, and you need a fair bit of capital, or you need a fair bit of friends, which...
But when you build the greatest 3D printer that the world has ever seen for a price point that the average Joe can afford... You've got at least
Okay.
one of those check
I beg to
boxes.
differ. I beg to differ that first one.
Yeah, this is not the greatest printer the world has ever seen.
For the price point, it absolutely is.
Okay,
Okay.
at the price point, it is probably one of the best printers out there, period, and punches way above its weight class.
Yes.
But I'm sorry, there's nothing that will compare it to. And Linus, Sebastian, check this out. There's nothing that will compare it to an SLM free float technology 3D printer. Yeah, damn right. That was a segue, ladies and gentlemen. We're moving into talking about supportless metal 3D printing.
That was good.
That was pretty damn good. And you know what? While I'm at it, you know, I am excited to talk about SLM free float and all their metal stuff. But you know what I'm more excited to tell you about? Our sponsor, and that is 3D Musketeers. If you are looking to get your idea made from art to part, if you have a splitting headache and don't know what to do, you can give 3D Musketeers a call. We can help you get your idea out of your head and into your hands with full art to part rapid prototyping. That includes 3D printing, laser cutting, and CNC milling. That's what we do here. That's literally what this company is when I'm not yelling at the computer for God knows whether it's a Lulzbot or freaking
Cricket.
You know, Cricket. And I laugh because the entire maker community that we're a part of, when Lulzbot launched this, they're all pinging me saying, "You're gonna do this,
it,
right?
do it.
Yeah, they're like poking me saying, "You're gonna do
Yeah,
this."
they're like,
And by the way, these
do
are the
your
same
thing.
people that groan every single time I do a Cricket video. They're like,
Yep.
"Dude, come on." But as soon as the Lulzbot thing came out, and look, I think. And before we move over to SLM, the thing for me with Lulzbot was that I think this was very much an overpromise and underdeliver. If they had said under $1,000
Which would
instead
have been
of
simple.
expected as low as 750, if they had, you know, really given us some better images and talked about the belted Z, and I guess I misspoke a little bit. Belted Zs are not bad, but they are in that particular orientation. And like on the Mini, there is a board where if power gets cut out, it crosses the poles on the motors. Okay, so what effectively happens is the motors stall themselves out. They don't move if it loses power. They decided to take that off as a cost-saving measure for this printer. So if you lose power, it is quite possible that your entire hot end falls onto your bed. But even worse, if you are printing and you lose power, your hot end, your nice 210, 250 degree hot end, is going to fall into your part. And
Allegedly.
we haven't yet done a video on the Blob of Doom, which is basically where your entire hot end gets encased in plastic.
I have some recent pictures of that, Grant.
This just happened. There was a guy on Reddit that was talking about
But
this.
that
it happened
like
to
that's
him.
exactly how Blob of Doom happens.
Yeah.
And it's a shame, but you know what? Lulzbot has decided that this is the right tool, and unfortunately, I think this thing is going to have a bit of. It's going to sell well, right? It's half the
always going to
price.
sell well.
And like I said, the 289 or whatever it is, I don't like that one. I think if you're going to get one, it's a 747 that comes out on the 15th of July. Because you know, for $200 more, you get the size of a Taz 6. Which, I mean, honestly, if I could have had a Taz 6 for, you know, $1,500 back when I bought our Taz 6 for $2,500, yeah, I would do that. And understanding that it is going to be worse. But you know what? I just want a big printer and I want it cheap. You know, and so there is value in that. So, you know, don't misconstrue it.
Yeah.
But I think there are going to be a lot of people that end up finding themselves in a hole for support. And I guess we will see how good Lulzbot's support is. But yeah, I mean, you know, and
It's never been terrible for us.
no, it's actually been pretty good. But John, that was before Lulzbot was bought. So
Yes.
support is
yes.
what it's all about. And SLM is here to say no support, no more. Again, that's two damn
Oh my
good segues,
god. That
okay?
was the worst. Boy, dude, Linus Sebastian just groaned from Canada for that segue.
I seen Nadav commented. What did he say?
He said hi and then no, it's not. I think that was in reference to my calling the Prusa the best printer for the money.
Oh yeah, probably not. I
and
think for the money, it's one of the best printers for the money. But yeah, SLM free float. I know we talked about it a little bit, which is hilarious.
I did not watch anything on free float. I'm sorry. So I'm
Okay.
just going to make some wild assumptions here. Is
That's
it
fine.
like the way we do powder printing?
It is powder printing.
Well, yes, it is.
Grant knows
It's
what I'm
metal
talking
powder. But so what SLM has figured out is they can use some software trickery,
Mhm.
and it enables them to have minimal to zero support. Now, I laugh because they call it, support-free printing, and like John, if you Google SLM free float and you go to their website. By the way, if you guys do Google SLM free float, you'll see our video shows up as like number 4 or number 5 on Google, which is phenomenal to me that's even a thing. But yeah, SLM free float, their pictures and all their images of it show it with support material. So I would have liked to
That's
see,
funny.
less support. Now, I guess from a marketing standpoint, support free sounds really good, but the fact that it's not support free is upsetting. Now,
Happy with
I
the 4th. That's cool.
I had a chance to talk to some metal people and to kind of like confirm or deny my allegation of the less support you have, the better chance you have of it warping. And I was confirmed. Now, these people don't have any experience with SLM free float, but there's and damn it, the other company, of course, I'm on the floor. So Eric Cederberg sent me the other company that has a competitor to free float, but I'm on the floor, so you're not getting that from me right now. Too bad. So Eric, if you're here, post it in the comments or something. But there's another company that does it, and they all kind of do it the same way. From what we can figure out, they're basically, oversaturating the metal, which gets it to bond to itself a little bit better. Now, that of course does damage the powder around it, which you're used to, right? You're used to it damaging the surrounding powder, but it is worse than normal. But on like the part that they show off, where it's like a Voronoi pattern style part.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Yeah, some generative design
Yeah,
type of stuff.
that is generative to be the lightest possible to keep as much strength as possible.
Yep.
And by the way, if you guys want to see a video about that, let us know. Maybe we'll do a video on generative design. I don't
do
know.
have NTOP.
Justin, I can't afford NTOP.
I can show mine though.
Yeah, well, maybe we can convince the people at NTOP to send us and that's N-topology for those wondering. And N-topology is one of those softwares that if you have to ask how much it costs, you can't afford it. Isn't
More
it like
than
10
you can
grand a
afford,
year?
pal.
It's 15
NTOP.
grand for the first seat, then I think 7 every other one
Gotta love it.
Per year?
per year.
Jesus.
Now, John, you might say that's a lot of money, but N-topology is basically only used in high-end additive manufacturing. So you're talking...
So it's not a lot of money when you're spending millions of dollars on printers. but
Right, when you're
in the grand
spending
scheme of
$2
things,
million,
it's still a lot of money.
Right, when you're spending $2 million on a printer, 15 grand, bro, that's like a filter package for it, right?
Yeah.
You don't particularly care, and
And it can
the
save you so
value-
much money.
Yeah, the value
Hey,
that
Grant.
N-topology brings to the table, well and truly overcomes its cost very quickly.
Grant, Henrik King commented, you made a great point in your video that they would not put out medium and low options of support amount if it would not bring negative aspects as well.
Yeah.
So it's sexy, it's cool,
Oh,
you
it
know?
is.
Supportless, not really low support material needed to print from our printer.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Maybe it's because I don't know, and I don't know enough about this industry. Why can't they do the same thing that sandstone does?
Wait.
And
It's so much heavier.
Wait. Yep. It's density, right? Metal powder has a higher density than sandstone. So
Okay.
let's back up real quick. Jonathan is talking about sandstone, which is known as color jet printing or full color sandstone. It is a gypsum-based powder, and it's literally an inkjet process. It uses quite literally HP C4810A. And the fact that I remember that years later still bothers the hell out of me, but they are
it's because you
HP.
can't get them no matter what you do.
They're like $75 a head. They used to be like $30, but they're like $75 a head. You have to purge all the black, and it's only the black. You don't buy any of the others. You purge all the black ink out of it, and you fill it with, whatever color you want to use. And yes, Justin, there is not an easy way to do that. It is fully automated, and the ink that you are purging out is incredibly expensive.
It's like liquid gold.
It is liquid gold, and then the ink that you are putting into it is 28 cents per milliliter on average. And so this thing works identically to a inkjet, but instead of layers of paper, it's layers of powder. So just think about that. If you were able to cut something up into literally paper-thin layers, but all the paper surrounding it just kind of turned into dust, right? That's what CJP is. When you look at, SLM or, some of the other metal printers, these are beds of metal powder that are heated up very close to their melting temperature, and then a laser is used to selectively melt. So SLM, selective laser melting, it's like in their name. And it uses it to selectively melt the areas that you want to melt. And so you always have to be connected to a build plate. So that is always touching, and it's welded. So, right, you're welding to your build plate. And you can cut it off with, generally it's a wire EDM, electro discharge machine, something like that. It's like a hot wire. It's
definitely electronic dance music.
It is not electronic dance music.
You just need some like pretty hard hitting bass notes, and it just jumps out like, hey.
Yeah, no, definitely not that. But it was interesting to me that they do offer like 3 different styles, and my assumption here is, and this was somewhat confirmed, is that the larger your part is, so like looking at that big one from SLM, the one they use on their website, I was told there's no way they nested anything else with that. There's just no way. Because
really,
and the reason that they can do this is likely because of the recoder. So they have what they're calling effectively friction-free recoding system, which is what spreads the next layer of powder. Well, if your part is warping, the recoder can hit it. So and that's normally how metal parts fail. If they're warping and the recoder hits it, it'll jam the recoder, it'll bend the part, something always happens.
So back to my point, it is essentially the same thing as a CJP machine, except instead of putting ink and binder down, it's a laser.
It's metal and lasers. Yeah, it's all powder processes. Very similar in the way it's
like, and the reason I said it's like the CJP process is because they don't need support.
Yeah,
and now I get it because it's super heavy and it's made of metal. That's different.
And also the vibrations in the metal machines are way higher too.
I would love to check out a metal machine one of these days.
So if you actually dropped a part in there, let's say you dropped something in there by accident, and you accidentally turn the machine on.
Get that out of here.
It goes to the bottom.
Oh, because it's
the
like
vibration, it almost turns into a liquid.
Yeah, but it's like
what did Justin have that you told him to get out?
An O-light, O-bulb.
Oh, okay.
Was the only thing sitting here.
But it would be like if you were like metal, if you were like polishing polishing metal, and they vibrate at the right thing, and then it makes it shiny. Still, it's cool. It's really cool, man. And still, like, I've said this before about the 3D printing industry. I don't know if I've said it on this podcast before, but even though I have been kind of in this industry now for 8-9 years, Grant, between this, the last business, and everything else, it still is mind-blowing to me. This is Star Trek and Star Wars technology to me. Like, the fact that we can get internet from freaking space still, I honestly did not believe I would see that in my lifetime. And there's a difference between Starlink and like DirecTV internet.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I think it's specifically that Elon Musk did not make the first one.
No, it's distance.
Okay.
Speaking of
I honestly don't
know. We are going to be launching our Patreon next week. So and it is going to have a Musketeer tier, which for those that know Elon Musk, it will be $420.69. And it gets you nothing. There are no
but
added
I thought-
benefits to being in the
Wait,
Musketeer.
no.
get-
I thought I was going to send you a Dogecoin, a single Dogecoin.
You know, we probably should come up with something that we can put with the Musketeer.
I've got 36,000 of them, baby. If we get 36,000 people to commit to us for $420.69
Well,
a
no,
month,
I limited it to 5 just as a joke, because
I
we're gonna
can
tweet.
spare it.
We're gonna tweet at Elon Musk to let him know that we have a tier on our Patreon, especially for him. And I'm gonna hope that he takes us up on it because 1, I'll get to send Elon Musk 3D prints every month. 2, I'm gonna get to have a one-on-one meeting with Elon Musk every month because
You won't take that.
you know,
Yeah, that's a lot.
Normally, you are the one paying for that, sir.
Hey, if he wants to pay for my time, sir, Elon, I am more than happy to talk to you. But
Grant, do you have your phone? Do you have
wish.
your phone on you?
no, my phone's up on my desk and I am currently on the floor.
That's why I said, do you have your phone on you? I was going to send you something privately, but never mind.
No, I don't. But
It is very relevant to that last conversation.
but yeah, SLM to me is, and the fact that they're making it useful on
Dude, it's so cool.
Jonathan,
It's really cool.
it's gonna work on all of their machines, not just the new ones. Their
Really?
old ones.
Wait. So they're like the anti-cricket.
They're gonna offer retrofits.
Well, because
That's
they make more
freaking
money
good
off
job. Just round of applause first, because damn.
I only have one hand because I'm holding the mic with the other one, but I can
Slap your
tap the
face.
mic if you want.
They
No,
make more.
please don't.
They make more money by doing that, actually,
They absolutely will. Yeah.
because
Instead of telling them if you want this, you got to buy another printer.
no, that will actually probably cost them more because they have to make the machine and then
Yep.
go and install it. That costs a lot of money. Even if they're charging them $1 million, that's still going to cost them 500,000.
Yeah, like
Or
John,
X
go to
amount.
Touche, but it still looks better, at least to the layman like myself.
go
But
take a
then
look
if
at
you-
SLM's website, John.
I'm on it.
And-
It's incredible. It's beautiful.
Go look at their machines. Some of their machines are so big they have staircases.
But then if you can charge
Wait, what?
$100,000 or $200,000 to retrofit it, that's way less money for both sides.
Yeah, and I'm
and
sorry
they'll be able to do it for every
Wait,
single
why
machine.
does the 800 have a staircase?
because it's huge.
Well, because it probably
There's
takes
nothing
the part-
under it.
It takes the part and moves it down so you can reach it when it's done, or moves it up to clean
Yeah.
it.
No,
it-
it's just elevated. There's nothing underneath it.
No, there will be.
There's different chambers.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
different chambers. Stuff moves around. They wouldn't elevate a printer for no damn reason.
Because it all has to be filled with inert gas.
Yep. It's all full of argon. Sometimes it's other chemicals, but normally it's argon.
Yeah, so you don't blow up.
Could be nitrogen. It's not just the blow up thing. And so when I learned about, DMLS, it was, oh hey, we fill it full of argon because the lasers are so powerful they'll ignite the air. Now
I thought it was
SLM's
'cause of the
largest
metal.
machine,
Which
and
is
Justin will
so
laugh at
cool.
this. So SLM's largest machine has 12 lasers, 12 1,000-watt fiber lasers.
Jesus.
Well, I don't know if they're fiber, but they're 1,000-watt
know if
lasers.
they're
They're
fiber.
probably not.
There's
fiber.
no way they aren't.
Well,
No.
so
A 1,000-watt
guess-
CO2 melting metal? I
So here-
highly doubt it.
But John, here's the deal, right? First off, 1,000-watt CO2 melts metal all day long.
That's fair. And
but
do they even exist?
The reason is it is the frequency at which they operate at, and Eric taught me this. CO2 operates at a much easier frequency to melt metal than something like a fiber laser. Fiber lasers have to work harder. SLM has the ability to now with their free float to also actively adjust their spot size from 80 to 160 microns, so that you can do your infill very, very quickly. And and like at $150,000 to $200,000 for a retrofit, I don't think there's a shop in America, hell, a shop in the world that owns one of their machines that would not spend that money. Because let's think of like titanium powder. Even, titanium powders, it used to be like $600 a kilo. It's come down in price quite considerably. I think it's somewhere in the $300 to $400 range. It does not take a lot of powder to pay that back. And it certainly doesn't take a lot of machine time. Because remember, lasers are non-renewable, right? You use it and you lose it. So the amount of time you're spending not using your laser on the support material, the amount of time that you're spending, not having, touch points for humans all of this pays itself back insanely fast. I would expect at $200,000 that you would see an ROI in less than 1 year.
100%.
People that have to work on these machines and the parts that come off of them are not $30,000 a year workers, ladies and gentlemen. These are, $75,000 and up workers that have, good degrees, mechanical engineering, or additive manufacturing engineering, because that's going to be a thing now too. So they have specialized degrees. These are not like, day laborers that you can pick up to do this. These are very, very specialized skills. And remember, John, it's not like FDM where you can just use a pair of pliers and your support pops off. The support is literally welded to the part. You have no other choice but to cut it out with like a hacksaw or a freaking, literally like a recip saw or a die grinder.
So what you're saying is I can give it to like Billy Bob and his squatted truck and he can, hit it with his angle grinder he's got laying in the back that's missing half the disc. Perfect.
No.
I mean, honestly, that's better. I was gonna say that's better than nothing. No, it's not. Don't do that.
Especially if
don't squat your trucks.
Especially if you're printing an Inconel, because Inconel work hardens very quickly.
Ooh, that's fair.
It is a material that the harder you hit it, the harder it gets.
I'm leaving that one alone.
Yeah, I was gonna say there are jokes there, and I'm just. It was either going to be sexual or abuse based. I didn't think either one of those were gonna be
I'm
good
staying
jokes.
far away from that.
But both of those are on brand for this podcast, so that's okay. But yeah, this is SLM, I think, and because so many people have SLM machines, I think that now there are at least 2 people that have this kind of supportless metal 3D printing. I think it's going to push the rest of the industry to do the same very quickly. Or SLM and this other company are going to end up kind of owning the industry, straight up.
But that's happened too. I mean, again, not to bring it back, but look at CJP.
Right. So CJP was the only style of full color 3D printing for a while.
For years.
Yeah, 3D printers. So MCore came out. MCore is the paper printer, so it literally uses paper.
Those are cool.
And they're beautiful parts, but the color's not consistent, and it's made of paper. So unless you seal it, at least in Florida, you get layer delamination over the course of a few months because of the moisture that it takes up. And of course, with the paper printers, the excess paper is waste. Now, of course, you can recycle it and all that, but still, there's a fair bit of waste. But paper is very cheap, very, very cheap. HP came out in 2016 with their MJF multi-jet fusion, which is similar to SLM and SLS, where it's a nylon powder, but it is binder jetting, so it uses a colored binder, 2 different colors. There's a dark gray and a light gray, and then it uses basically a really high-powered heat lamp to bond it. And because the light gray and the dark gray are darker than the white powder, they absorb the energy. And that's what ends up bonding. So there you go. That's how MJF effectively works, TLDR.
It's exactly like if you've ever done, drew a box of Sharpie on your arm and then took a picture with the flash on and it hurts. That's exactly what it is.
Justin, we're not 17 years old. We don't do that.
I have no idea what you're talking
years
about.
ago, if you put something, or when you leave something that's like a dark color outside.
Why hot cars get hotter than white cars.
Yeah.
How about that instead of some weird Sharpie on your hand?
I see we have a comment. What's the comment
cult
say?
Thing. Who else offers an option like the supportless metal in the metal AM industry?
Man, I if I could sit up and get into my chair right now, I would tell you. I don't know. Justin, can you look it up? I feel like it's Velo 3D. I'm almost positive it's Velo 3D. But yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
EOS does it.
EOS, yeah, eliminating
and Velo 3D.
Okay.
Hilariously, 3D Musketeers comes up as a business when I do this search.
What search?
Supportless metal 3D printing.
Oh, because
3DM is legitimately on the right side of the page.
Nice.
Hard stop. We don't have one of those.
Yeah,
we know
but
people who do.
Somewhat easy stop. We definitely know people that do.
Yeah. Velo does support free metal AM.
Okay, so it's Velo and EOS, which is fine, which makes sense. You know, those are your other big players in the industry.
EOS is not supportless.
Well, it is
think?
somewhat.
No.
Metal
What?
3D printing without supports. They have a whole big article on there.
Yeah, they do actually, but it. Ugh.
I mean, they show trees stacked up or something. I don't know.
I like EOS. Like, so I've had seat time on a P480 from EOS, and they're just awesome machines. Now, mind you,
Grant.
these are machines that cost more than most people's homes. Maybe not Justin's home since you live in LA, but most people's homes.
Probably costs more than this house too.
It costs more than a cardboard box does in LA, which is at least $150,000.
That's fair. That's fair.
Grant, hilariously, you might want to see if we can do this. Velo 3D has the option to request a meeting with one of their engineers and see if you can record it for a video. Salespeople.
Yeah, Justin's right.
I
They're
know.
salespeople.
I used to work in the sales industry. I know.
But you know what? That would be pretty cool. And I feel bad because we were going to actually do a video of the Aeon M2 Plus. It's a AON. It's not this is a plastic printer. And I reached out to them. They sent me some stuff, and then their new printer didn't hit the way I was expecting it to hit, so we actually scrapped the video for it. And I feel bad because like that was the first time I actually got a company to give me information, and we didn't use it. So that sucks. But
it's part of it though, you know.
It's part of the process.
It's just part of this business.
I believe, you know, SLM has had pretty good market penetration here. Their machines are very, very accurate. They're reliable, and they're workhorses, which is really what you want, right? You know,
But
when
not
you
the
have
Taz
failures in the metal industry, Jonathan, cost more than what your car was just sold for. Okay,
I believe that because these
Probably double,
printers are
actually.
so big.
right?
Really?
I've
damn
talked
near
with
50?
SJ's on
Wow.
Twitter at
Jesus.
Inconel, INCONELLE. If you guys want to put that in the chat so people can see it.
How do you spell it again?
INCONELLE. Inconel. She does Inconel and metal 3D printing, if that, you know, wasn't obvious for you. I don't know if her employer is public, but I do know it. She works in Orlando. You know, she's told horror stories of, you know, failures in metal that warp your build plate. Now, warping build plates on FDM is no big deal. It's like maybe it breaks your glass. Okay, that's a $20 piece of glass. Oh, it warped up your flex build plate. Okay, well there's no harm there.
Yeah.
The build plates for these machines are multi-inch thick solid chunks of metal. And I'm like, SJ, what did that cost? She said, I believe the final cost in that was somewhere in the $60,000 to $80,000 range for company cost. So like that is the salary of one person in one failure.
All right, I just want to say something. I just went and checked out her Twitter. On June 29th, she retweeted from Morning Brew, write a horror story of your industry in just 4 words. Cloud of titanium powder.
Because that makes explosions.
Yep.
Yep.
For those
So
that don't
just-
know, the
it's
most dangerous thing in your house right now is probably your sack of flour sitting in your kitchen. Because if it gets atomized into the air and a very small spark goes, you now have a bomb. And not fun. Although I guess lithium batteries are probably
No
on
way.
par with that.
No, well, I
You
mean,
can contain those pretty easily.
Or it's your
How,
ANET
Justin?
A8.
How would you contain a lithium fire?
Well,
Sand.
Look, it could be your ANET A8 that you bought years ago and say that there's nothing wrong with it. It'll never fail. It could be that too.
That too.
It could be when the dude drops off the Under 5 at the house.
Oh my God. Yeah, let's tell that story.
Seriously, this is a good story.
We
Yes.
offer printer repair. Okay, so that's part of what we do at 3DM. So we offer printer repair. This guy had an Ender 5 Plus, and he came out of Brooksville. Brooksville's about an hour north of us, where he lived at least. So, you know, he gets in his car and he's driving out. Well, for those that don't know, Florida, is not sunny. During the summer months, it is rainy all the time. And this particular week has been a nightmare for weather. And he gets here and it is just starting to open up. So I can't help him, but I'm trying to, be somewhat useful because my back does not allow me to lift an Ender 5. They're huge. We get it inside, when we're talking, and the lightning is getting closer and closer and closer. And then it strikes about 50 feet from the edge of our garage. And we've never had lightning strike that close before. And so I'm blaming the fact that there's a Creality in my house right now as to why the weather's getting really bad. There's a hurricane coming toward Florida right now because of that stupid Creality printer in my garage right now. But I'll tell you, he bought this printer like this, and it does have auto bed leveling, so it's got an easy ABL. I confirm that.
It's got some tasteful
It's got a direct
mods.
drive conversion, which is debatable.
The good
at
one or
best.
the printed one?
What?
The Micro Swiss one or the printed one?
No, it's neither of those.
custom.
I'll send you photos, but
Okay.
yeah, basically the printer is an absolute shit show, and it's gonna take us a little bit to fix it. But that's okay. I'm gonna turn it into videos on how to repair your Ender 5 that you have no idea what's wrong with it. So it'll be diagnosing and then repairing the problems. But like, yeah, that was kind of crazy. We ended up shutting the garage, which is not something I normally do, right? Because at that point, I am in a room. I can't run, right? So like, if he for some reason got aggressive for some reason, that's it. I've got nowhere to go, right? I'm not going back into my house. That's a dumb decision. Now, thankfully, the dude is crazy nice, so I didn't have to worry about that. But like, from a security standpoint, it's like, okay, well, there goes my exit strategy. But yeah, no, that was friggin' nuts. That lightning. We lost power for what, 20 minutes, which is pretty good for us. The other day we lost power for almost 2 hours. We don't normally lose power, but we've been losing power a lot recently. Like, we lost power at 6 a.m. this morning.
Yep, 6 a.m.
And we learned something. When you lose power and it comes back on, and your Wi-Fi bulbs all lost power too, they all turn on.
They come back on at 6 a.m. in the morning.
They all turn on. So like, my bedroom light goes to 100%. John's bedroom light
Same.
goes to 100%. Thankfully, in my office, all of my Wi-Fi bulbs are on battery backup, so they never went down. But that's just like one of those funny things that you don't think about.
That's what happens to my fan. My fan turns off, but then my lights turn back on. It's like, because they're all on relays and they get flipped.
Yep. Yeah. So
in fact, that storm was bad enough that our battery backup that was running on our internet finally met its final demise. Both batteries inside of it have now split, have lead plates visible. She gone. Time to go buy some car batteries.
It's dead, Jim.
Don't do that, kids.
Yeah, buy marine batteries if you're gonna do it. But yeah, don't do that. Just don't listen to what we do. Do what we say, not what we do.
Or vent them correctly.
Yeah, vent them in proper polypropylene boxes. Thank you, Breaking Bad, for that, by the way.
Yep, that's the one thing you should learn from Breaking Bad is that sulfuric acid does not hurt polypropylene.
Does not hurt poly. Please tell me you've seen Breaking Bad, Justin. Okay, because you're giving me this look of, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I'm disappointed in you people.
How so, sir?
More Grant's battery backup.
There's
Why?
nothing wrong with it, dude.
You don't remember Bob's talking to you, Grant?
Yeah,
I don't care.
Bob can talk to me all day, but the difference is I printed through a 2-hour power outage. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
What it comes down to is it's good enough for a car.
Yeah.
Don't pull it past 50% and you're fine. For years and years of worry-free service, just don't be stupid about it. Don't put them in an airtight container. Make sure it has ventilation abilities, and also make sure that it's in an acid-safe container. We have met all of those steps.
Yep.
I'm not paying 6 times the price for a stupid marine battery. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
I understand the safety.
I will
We've taken
once
it
these
into
die.
account.
Like I already own them, so and they work fine. So there's no
Yeah,
point
I'm
in
not.
replacing them.
Yeah.
But once they
not.
die, I will start swapping them out for marine batteries, because like they're gonna die one at a time. But yeah, and
That's
like the
unlikely.
reason that we did this, for those that are wondering why we did this, it's because the APC batteries, and they're just AGM batteries versus flooded, right? So the AGM batteries that come with you know, the APCs, they're 7 amp hours, and they are about $20 each cheaper than it is to get car batteries. Now, for the APC 3000 that we use to run all of our printers, there are 8 batteries. So it's 4 in series and then 2 sets. So it's 4S2P. Well, 8 of those batteries, because when they die, they apparently all died. I think there was 1 good battery in that set. So to replace the other 7, and likely if you're going to do 7, you just do 8, would have cost me as much as the 4 car batteries that I have on it now. And unlike an alternator that's going to charge it at 100 plus amps, the charge current, I think, is like 6 or 7 amps. They don't get charged very
It's
hard.
very low.
And yes, unless you run them all the way down, which, yes, is possible, there's really not that big of a danger, right? The danger that you have is when you charge flooded batteries, they vent off hydrogen, right? So if you have a fully sealed container, you're going to keep hydrogen in it, and eventually that hydrogen is going to find a way out, and it's not normally a nice way out. You know,
It's a
so if
very
you have
violent
venting,
way.
you're good. The container that you have the batteries in needs to be able to handle sulfuric acid, because ultimately, if you've had a car battery fail, you know, pretty hardcore on you, they dump their acid. Okay?
Yep.
Polypropylene solves that problem too. Cool. And we wire them up with 8-gauge wire. Is it 8? No, it's 4-gauge. It's 4-gauge wire. Which is thicker wire than the APC itself uses.
Okay, Justin, we need to say why. Okay, God, what was this? This was back when the dune buggy was still a thing.
We're
Irma.
sick with like
5 years,
5
6
Cs.
years.
Irma is why we did this.
No, but why we have a spool of. I bought a spool of Monster. It might be 4. It's between 4 and 10 gauge. Actually, 4 and 8. It's big, thick wire. It was a 50-foot spool for $1 a foot.
It was a pricing error, and it's
it was
oxygen-free copper.
And they fulfilled it. OFC, like
just the copper alone is
it's worth more than the copper alone.
It's why I have a 500-foot roll of airline tubing for aquariums on the floor behind me, because it was $12.
That's also really terrible airline tubing.
Yeah, it's vinyl, not silicone, but it's good enough.
Yeah, don't do what we do, but we did our first battery backup because Hurricane Irma was coming to Florida, and
Cat 5 at the time.
We had to print through it. We did not have an option. The job needed to be done. The client didn't care about the hurricane and was threatening to do a chargeback. So yeah, you do what you got to do, and damn it, we got that job done. Printed all the way through Hurricane Irma. The house lost power. The print kept going. The print finished, and I turned off the printer. It was great.
It also helps to have ostensibly very expensive battery backups.
Yeah, this is an old, the APC 1500 that we first built up is an old one. It's a transformer APC, so it actually has built-in fans, so it can run for extended periods of time.
Yeah.
And the APC 3000 is a rack-mounted APC, which is designed to run a long time as well.
Yeah, and have pretty high
I'll be
draw,
putting one
too.
on my servers.
Yeah, we have 2 of them. The other one, the batteries are dead. But here's the thing about the APC 3000s. They don't turn on unless the batteries are good.
Yep.
So
That's
we
the
have
shitty part.
our other APC 3000 has 2 dead batteries. Now we don't need it right now. But yeah, if we need it, I have to buy batteries to use it. They do not turn on without batteries.
Yeah, I need it. We need to do a new UPS. Ours exploded.
Yep.
And
That'll
it was a
happen.
retail one.
How did it explode?
It happens because the batteries are sealed, and when they fail violently.
Yeah, it didn't. explode with fire, but it popped the whole thing, and it leaked everywhere.
Yeah,
Wasn't
I'm
fun.
assuming that's what happened to ours in the living room. All I know for a fact is there was no more electrolyte in those batteries because I could see the lead plates.
Yeah.
Well, those are AGMs, so they shouldn't leak.
Ah, shit, that's right. It's AGM.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which stands for absorb glass mat, if anybody did not know that out there.
But yeah, I mean, of course we have Elsa coming to Florida, and this is like inopportune, right? We're still dealing with the collapse in Miami.
Yep.
The death toll's up to 20 now, unfortunately.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, and so Elsa's going to be barreling down on Florida. We don't know where it's going to end up yet. All these spaghetti models are BS. Just wait till it gets close, then you'll find out. I mean, Irma, we thought was going to be a near miss, and all of a sudden at the last minute it turned and came right for us. So, and of course, if it's, you know, a category 2, I don't honestly think we're going to do anything. If it's a category 3, we'll board up the house, but that's really only to keep debris. That's it. You're boarding up the house to keep tree limbs and crap from coming through your windows.
Yeah.
Because the houses are designed to withstand category 3. Amber's greenhouse, on the other hand, no, that is not designed to handle category 3. We will figure out a way to keep that thing from flying away. But yeah, hurricane season is kind of odd in Florida. Literally, I'm looking on Facebook, and there is no less than 4 hurricane parties on my friends list right now of people that are planning hurricane parties. Because what's going to happen? Your power is going to go out. It's basically a guarantee. You're going to lose power. It's going to be a lot of wind. It's going to be a lot of rain. It's going to be some debris. So what do people want to do? They want to get together, and they want to get real drunk. So they're going to go out. They're going to buy Pop-Tarts, because that's a thing. People buy Pop-Tarts when the weather gets bad. They're going to get a bunch of booze, and they're going to have parties. Now, the trick is, if Waffle House closes, it's time to leave. Waffle House does not close. And when there is a thing called the Waffle House Index. If Waffle House closes, there will be substantial damage from a hurricane. Waffle House does math and all the calculations required to debate, is it worthwhile to leave their stores open, because they're open 24/7. But they will stay open during a hurricane to allow people that need, shelter to get it. If Waffle House closes, it's going to be bad, and it's time to board up your houses. And it was when Irma shifted, Waffle House, all in the area, closed, and that's how we knew it was time to go get wood and all that.
That's the most Florida thing ever.
Look it up, Justin.
Have you seen the meme?
It's called the Waffle House Index.
Yeah, have you seen the meme though of people saying that before you leave the South, you have to go to the Waffle House? Why? Is it good food? No. Is it good service? No. Is it clean? No.
But you just gotta go. Justin,
gotta
I have
go.
been in a Waffle House where they are cleaning it with a hose. Okay? They are hosing down the entire
That's how they
Waffle House with a hose.
Tables, chairs.
Not tables and chairs, but the floor. I see we have some comments or things. Can someone read them?
Yeah,
to me?
is it Nadav? Nadav is talking about the Guardian generator. So it's a Generac generator. It's a good generator. It's a 10,000 watt Wi-Fi enabled.
We are not monetized yet. I don't have YouTube money.
I mean, to be fair, I really thought this was going to be significantly more expensive than it was. They have gone down a lot.
What is it?
But our less than $3,000.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, mom and dad are getting that 10,000 watt for $1,000, aren't they?
Yeah, but this is in like ground instant transfer. You don't have to walk your generator out to your switch. Yeah. But also, this would work for most people. And I was going to respond to Nadav in the comments, but this would work for most people if their septic tank isn't below where it would have to get installed.
Yeah.
So they could do it. We have some space between the tank and the house.
And the problem here,
not the risk I want to take.
We looked into doing this here too.
Huh?
We looked into doing it where I am too, but the problem is with earthquakes, our gas cuts off.
Well, that's a you problem.
So we can't, that's the natural disaster. So we couldn't.
Yeah, you would bury a tank.
Put like honestly. A 500-gallon propane tank in.
Yeah. but it's just another expense. We ended up getting that Gold Zero like battery generator thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
the big like 100 amp hour thing.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 kilowatt hours.
Wow. It
And
even
it comes
does
with
self
its own-
tests.
What? Yeah, it's natural gas. That would be the problem here. Our
Yeah,
natural
that's the
gas will
problem.
turn off right off when the
Yeah, we don't have
if there's a
natural
big
gas
enough
out here.
earthquake.
Yeah, I ain't got natural. We'd have to bury a tank. But yeah, that's Justin's problem is if there's an earthquake and it cuts the power, it cuts gas too, which
Yeah,
sucks.
well, our gas like line has an earthquake sensor type of thing on it. When
Yep.
there's a big enough rumble, it flips the thing over, and it's a pain in the ass to turn it back on.
Yes, that's the idea.
Yeah.
It's that's by design. So.
That's
Yeah, I
the
know.
point. .jpg.
I know. No, I know.
So I'm trying to figure.
I said this was going to be a short episode, but like I'm now reasonably comfortable on the floor, so now
Or get a power wall.
And honestly, this isn't that expensive.
I want to paint a picture real quick of me on the floor. So normally you guys are used to me sitting in my chair with my video lights and all that. I am laying on what was my old foot, my new footrest because it's foam. I got a footrest over Prime Day. I didn't put that in there, but I got a footrest, so that's on my neck. Okay, I am in an old t-shirt and gym shorts because bending over to put pants on right now is actually quite painful, so we couldn't do that.
Who wears pants on a video call?
What?
Yeah, wait, what?
Oh, you're saying who
totally
has pants
thought
on?
I thought Tad didn't have pants on last week.
Yeah, but we
It's 'cause
both
he
thought that
sits
Tad
in
didn't
a
have
standing
pants
desk.
on. But no, Tad got a standing desk, and the way his camera was angled, it looked like he was wearing either boxers or some Daisy Dukes. But as he walked away a little bit more, you could tell they were regular shorts. It was kind of hilarious.
Very funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am laying on a carpeted floor that is, or it's not. It's a rug on top of a hardwood floor, and I am nauseous. I am much better than I was. Like if you guys rewind to the beginning of the video, you'll see. And for all those that are audio only, I'm sorry, but we've told you this plenty of times. We do these live on YouTube every single weekend. Like, Grant is so nauseous that he cannot sit up. He cannot stand. He is laying on the floor in his office, surrounded by God knows how many spools of filament and printers. But we are here because we care about you. Now, will I have a video for Monday? That is debatable. I don't know yet. So if we don't have a video for Monday, I'm sorry. But yeah, you know, I had already scheduled this before I knew how bad this was going to be. Because honestly, probably would have said no to this and broken our streak. But
I would have done it. I already said I would have done it.
yeah, well, Brad was supposed to be on here because Brad's contest with E3D just got a swift kick in the pants. Printed Solid is going to be giving away, I think it's one of every color of Jesse. Is that right, Justin?
Damn.
Yeah, that's what we were saying last night.
Damn.
Yeah, check their Twitter to make sure. But yeah, so the contest used to be, you know, the winners will get one spool. No. Now they're getting a lot of spools. And that's pretty cool.
impressive.
I wish we could enter, but we can't.
Yeah, we can't enter.
Because I feel like if we could enter, we would basically be guaranteed to win. I've worked with so many people from like the Marvel universe and
the actual people.
Yeah, the actual people from Marvel, the actual people from The Walking Dead. You know, like I did the master for Age of Ultron. Like the actual helmet used in Age of Ultron.
I have it.
We did the master for it.
I have it. Hold on.
And
It's here somewhere.
And I'm sorry, but nothing beats the fact that we've done an actual movie master when you want to talk about you know, doing something that's comic book related.
I don't see it
Old photo though. Damn.
anywhere on their posts, Grant.
Brad shared it with us yesterday. He shared
Maybe it's
the
not
tweet.
public yet, and you just ruined it. This was back at the Ob Shop, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta
Well,
find
whatever.
the picture, dude.
The contest is gonna get awesome. We don't get enough views on this for this to really matter, but oh well.
No, I'm thinking though.
Sorry, Brad.
Oh, that's another thing. We're about to be monetized.
Yep. Actually,
So,
we should be.
Grant, it's
Wishes,
a secret
congratulations.
till E3D announces it. Whoops.
GG's.
Oh well. I'm nauseous. Blame that. Dude, I swear that Brad posted a tweet from Printed Solid in our Discord last night.
The only thing that Printed Solid posted about giveaways was the Chris Riley one.
What's the Chris Riley giveaway?
100 spools from Chris Riley, though.
That's what it was. Oh, okay. Well, that's what I was thinking then. Oops. Well, they're giving away 100 spools. I thought that's what that... I didn't clearly read the Twitter thing. What's the Chris Riley giveaway?
Free filament. Printed Solid and I partnered up to give away 100 spools of Jesse PLA. Check out the video, get all the info. And I have not watched the video yet. So.
Yeah, I'm not watching the video.
Grant, you can't see the video, can you? Our video feed right now?
I can see you guys, yeah.
Is this the photo?
That is it.
About? Hold on. I'll turn the ring light off.
Yep, that is our Age of Ultron.
Let's see. Oh, it went dark. Age of Ultron. Yeah, we did.
Look at me. I was clean shaven and had short hair back then.
And you were young and not broken.
Yeah.
This was 2014, July 25th. Almost. Yeah, wow. July 25th.
Almost 7 years ago, jeez.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
It's funny, it actually knows it's you.
Sorry,
it
Brad.
knows it's...
I apologize. But, yeah, I saw Brad post that. I thought that was his thing. So, oh well. But, yeah, I guess Brad's contest is about to get really cool. But, yeah, let's talk about that. Oh, you know what? No, we still talk about the Ender 7. Because I would like to compare the Lulzbot to the Ender 7.
I mean, that's so hard to...
That's not fair.
Here we go,
they
guys.
They both use
Lulzbot to Ender 7. All right, so Lulzbot wins in the fact that it has auto bed leveling, right?
And
that it's Lulzbot.
And it's a U.S. company and support.
Okay, but
it probably won't burn your house down.
No, Creality's gotten better. Ender 7 uses linear rails. Ender 7 is larger.
Oof.
Ender 7 uses Core XY. Ender 7 isn't a belted Z. And Ender 7 is $700 or less.
Yeah. Oof. You didn't have to do it to my boy.
Look what they've done. Look what
you
they've massacred my boy.
I'd like to see some more prints and whatnot from the Lulzbot Sidekick.
Yep.
And I'd like to see the big one. I'd like to see people get that.
Honestly, though, I don't think the prints are going to...
Uh-oh.
Thunder.
There is some thunder. I think the small one was simply so that they could say that they're doing 3D printers for under $1,000. But, you know, I look at the Sidekick, and I said it before, I'll say it again. What the hell is the point of the Lulzbot Mini anymore? What is the point of the Mini?
It's cheaper.
It is not cheaper.
It's ostensibly a better printer.
It's better, but it's not cheaper.
Okay, if you needed to make the Sidekick the Mini, you couldn't do it for less. It doesn't have... The Mini has iGoose, not V-Wheels.
But it also has a belted Z.
Yeah, but I'm assuming it has
Z.
It has the cut to not make it fall on itself.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. It's a winner in my book.
Do the Sidekicks not have like any ratcheting mechanism or anything like roller coaster would?
No.
Why?
10 out of 10. Good way to cut cost.
It's cost savings, and
it would cost them maybe another $5 at most.
You're right. But when you're already selling a printer for $2,500, and look, we all know the type of margins they're making, and I'm not here to margin shame, right? If a company can sell something and make good money on it, more friggin' power to them. But when they're selling something for $1,000, and let's call it $1,000, because I'm going to call it $1,000, that is basically I would guess that it is stiffer. It's got to be stiffer than an Ender 3. But is basically, you know, under the hood in Ender 3. That's really upsetting to me. And yes, it uses an INC. One of our guys on the call said that it was an SKR. Greg's Maker Corner said that it's a INC.
I'd assume it's an 8-bit board.
An INC Retro. If it's an SKR board, I'm gonna be mad because SKR boards are like $40. But I would assume because they've used INC Rambos in the past, they would go to the INC Retro. I think that makes more sense. I like the sensorless homing. I doubt. I wonder if Creality has sensorless homing. And like, it's not that big of a deal, but it is kind of nice. sensorless homing.
It's typically on X and Y, and I think there's normally the switch for Z.
Well, the BL
recently.
touches your Z axis for the.
Oh, the Ender 7 comes with the BL Touch?
No, I'm sorry. The Lulzbot. Ender 7, I don't know what they're doing because
They have
Joel
sensorless
Telling
homing
is
for
like
X
the
and Y
only
for
person
sure.
with an Ender 7 right now,
Yeah.
and he just took a diagram. He took an ankle grinder to it, which is
Okay,
ridiculous.
so-
I think he's gonna have issues getting good prints out of it. I think cutting that thing apart like he did, like if you wanted to cut the plastic off, that's fine.
Yeah, I would have cut the plastic. That's what I was saying too when I watched the video without even you saying about the angle grinder.
Yeah,
and
he
just
cut
cutting in
through the
general.
metal part of it, and I'm like,
I would have
don't
left
know,
the
man.
metal but cut the plastic.
Like, if you want to cut the plastic, I'm totally down for that. But when you cut through the metal frame of the printer, you now are no longer able to talk about the Ender 7 without mentioning the fact that yours is heavily modified. Like, literally heavily modified, or lightly. That's a bad joke, because he removed weight from it. But yeah, and like, I love Joel. And you know what? I want to point out, someone called me Donald Trump in a comment, and I'd like to say you can go to hell. I deleted your comment anyways because it made me feel good, and I went into our Discord and said, all right, I have received my first legitimate hate comment on YouTube.
We made fun of you, asshole.
Have I made it? Have I made it as a YouTuber now that I'm receiving hate comments?
Yes, you have, Grant.
But they're like, oh, you're opinionated. Yeah, that's what a review is. It's my opinion. If you want an unbiased review, go to CNC Kitchen. Now, I will tell you, I love Stefan. Stefan, I should say. He's like an SH is how he says it. Of CNC Kitchen. Love his channel, and it's literally one of the recommended channels that we have on our channel. But
Yeah, we give them free promotion.
To say that, hey, I'll promote him. It's a great channel. Guy's got like
hey,
800,000 subscribers. He doesn't need my promotion.
It's saying that we're not against them.
Oh,
Yeah, but to say that he is unbiased is totally wrong. Now, when he does reviews of the filament and all that, and he's using, objective testing, like that, yes, absolutely. That is using actual data. But when he does printer reviews, guys, it's the only way to do a printer review is to be subjective about it. And if you don't like my opinion, go somewhere else.
It's all about user experience of the printers now. I mean, they all print.
Right. I can get as good
Very
of a print out of an Ender 3 as I can out of a Prusa. But I promise you, the amount of time that it's going to take me to get it out of that Ender 3 is going to be leaps and bounds greater, like orders of magnitude greater than what it takes for me to get it out of a Prusa. With a Prusa, I plug it in, I turn it on, I click print. And I use all the stock settings from Prusa Slicer and all that. With an Ender 3, of course, it is supported inside a Prusa Slicer, so I could go ahead and use Prusa Slicer for that, but it might need some, it might need to be tightened up. It might need all these different things. And don't get me wrong, Ender 3s are like $300. A fully assembled Prusa is $1,000. So, there are some differences. And like, we are looking at getting a potentially massive order that would require me to get printers very, very quickly. And if that's the case, I'm going to buy some Crealis. And I know I said I would never own one, but we can use them for the channel, and I can use them and, like, pay for them instantly with this print job. So, yeah, I think I'm going to do that if we get the job. And it would be kind of cool for us to, really go through and show what are the differences between these machines legitimately. And what does that make in terms of a like an experience, like a UX, a user experience.
Yeah.
And like, of course, I come with some predisposed notions about Creality. I dealt with Brad and his Ender 3 when Brad first got into 3D printing, and it was a nightmare. And then we got him into an MK3S, and it was great. My phone is ringing. Oh, well. Don't know who it is.
I think having a Ender 3 or one of those printers as a first printer is a terrible thing.
I think a Prusa Mini is a great first printer. I think an Ender 3 is a great second printer.
And I think now, if I wanted to get another printer, I would either buy like an LGU Neptune 2 or an Ender 3, something of that inexpensive class, because I want another printer I want something to tinker with.
Yeah, you've learned.
And I have learned already. Because I started out with the Monoprice Maker Select Plus. I had the worst experience with that ever.
I had the
These-
downgraded version of that, which was the Monoprice Maker Select, which is the Wanhao Duplicator i3.
Yep.
Homie, you said you had a crappy experience? Bro,
You don't even know.
one, you don't even know, but two,
We were
these were
born in
great.
it.
These were
Molded by
amazing machines because everything else out there, these were like $400 printers. Everything else out there was like $2,000. And it made it basically impossible for someone to get in. Then these new printers from a company that used a rhinoceros and called themselves Wanhao came out, and we bought a bunch of them. They were $400. They had no
Freaking
thermal
pieces of
runaway.
garbage.
They were garbage. Their bed leveling never held. I mean, there were so
At
many
the
little
time,
issues
though.
with them.
At the time, though, it's the best you can get.
At the time, they enabled us to succeed as a business.
But what I'm coming in as, I was 13
Yep.
going into that
Yep.
with a printer that doesn't work. That's not, and you like $300, $400 at that, and you're 13 is a lot of money. It's not like
Oh yeah.
so. It's then I ended up getting a Prusa a few months later after ending up returning it and after spending hours and hours on it. But then I've learned so much from the Prusa that then if I wanted to go back to something like that or a lower tier printer to tinker with and mod and whatnot, that's where I could go in and I have that knowledge now.
Yep. And that's why, like, people are like, oh, you're just a Prusa shill. God, I wish I could be a Prusa shill. I'm not a Prusa shill. They don't pay me. I'm literally someone that has been in this industry for 13 years, right? 2008, basically. Yeah, 13 years. And I've been there, done that. I've worked with basically every single brand of FDM 3D printer. And it's like, guys, there is a limit of how shitty and what kind of corners that you can cut. And that's why when I saw that the Sidekick use V-wheels, I like face-palmed because, like, this is an Ender 3 that you're putting a nice, cool green color on and you have a better frame. But, like, I don't even know if it's a better frame because everything is offset 45 degrees and you're not using metal to connect your metal rails together. All your metal parts are held together with printed parts. And yes, they're using a 0.8 or a 1.2 nozzle for the printing. That's why ostensibly their printing doesn't look great on the Sidekicks. But, like, guys, like, they kind of had to, right? They had to go to something cheaper than, you know, dry bearings, iGoose Dryland dry bearings, and linear rails. V-wheels were really their only choice, and I should have seen it coming and, like, tempered my expectations, but I think because they said 3D printing is getting personal, and to me it didn't get personal at all, is why I'm so disappointed in that. And don't get me wrong, and I said it in the comments, I want one of these printers. I want to get one, and I want to give it the test, and I want to abuse it, and I want to use it and give it, like, the actual, like, workup that it deserves, right? I want to do a full review and not just a first look, right? I literally did a freaking reaction video on top of my own opinions, and that was our Lulzbot video. I want to do something where it is, you know, I am looking at the printer. I want to compare it to our Taz 6, a 4-year-old printer. I want to compare it to our Taz 6 and say, all right, here are the differences. Here's why this is better. Here's why this one is better. And do a side-by-side print and really honest to God compare them.
I'd put it next to the
because
Mark III,
otherwise I am just giving my opinion, and my opinion is, you know, a cup of coffee worth of value at best. And, you know, but this is what you do. This is what YouTube is, right? You give out your first initial reaction, you try to get yourself a printer, and then you do a video on it, right? That's what you do. So,
and, you know, going back to your opinion being worth about a cup of coffee, if you actually believe that, you can support us on Patreon at the $5 tier.
We will actually have tiers as low as $1.
Yeah, but, you know, we're talking about cups of coffee here, so, you know, we're big spenders here in the U.S. and
big
that ain't
spenders,
gonna be less than
$4.50
$5
for a cup of coffee. But yeah, guys, I think this is about as all as I can get out of me.
I think we should call it.
Yeah. So, All right. I hope everyone enjoyed. Thanks
for hanging out with us.
On this chapter 43 floor edition is what I'm going to call it.
We rename the title to this, please.
Can we please name it the floor edition, please?
I can go and change. Justin, I give you permission to go in and change it to the floor edition. So we're going to wrap it up. Jonathan, if you don't mind coming into my office so that I can show you how to kill everything. And because I don't want to get up to do it. Anyways, I hope everyone has enjoyed this one. Clearly a little bit, non-normal, but I hope you guys enjoy it. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to call your loved ones. And as always, keep making awesome. Have a good one.
Bye, everyone.